Welcome back. Distinguished Senator, you're the only woman from northern Nigeria in the Nigerian Senate. Was gender a factor in your journey, one way or the other?
I think it's a mixed grill. I will say yes and I will say no. Yes, in the vein that when I visited Maiha local government, most of the women came out and were just staring at me. And they were like, is she the one that we're going to vote for? You know, and it was so emotional. Then one of the elderly women came in and hugged me. And the next thing she started crying. And what was her reason? She said, if only we can have you as our senator, then all of us will be happy because a woman, a mother, a daughter has come out and we will support you earnestly. That, I think, almost brought tears to my eyes because this is a woman that obviously you can just write her off. But now she looked at, if this woman can make it, then at least my daughter has a future. And that is an encouragement on that. And believe you me, over 60% of the women, the votes casted in that particular local government are virtually women. And even when we were campaigning, one of the gentlemen said, I hope in 2019 we will not have a problem in our hands, that all the contestants will be women. And I said, so be it.
For women who are sort of aspiring to go into politics and to sort of win elective offices, like you've done 4 times very successfully, what are the lessons for them to learn in terms of how they sort of just work this journey so that it is, at the end of the day, it is quite successful?
Well, like any gathering of women that I meet, especially not only in northern Nigeria, but in general, our conduct matters a lot. I remember one of the advice that the may her soul rest in peace, Leila Dogunyaro gave me. The first thing she did was when she heard that I was contesting, she sent for me. And when I came, I think that took her aback. Maybe she wanted to see a woman that is elegantly dressed with all manner of things. But I went so simple. In fact, I didn't even know I had a slip-on on me. And she said, you passed the first test. And I was like, what is the first test? I thought I was going to see you there. You were so gorgeously dressed with all trinklets and what have you. But one of the key issues that most of our women are refusing to understand is that you are going to beg those common Nigerians that are believing and yearning for a better life out there. So they want you to look like them, to behave like them. Then they will be a little bit confident that you are one of the person that can now wipe their tears. And that thing stuck till today. And I remember even in 2007, when we went for a Thanksgiving, a friend of mine came from Lagos, well-dressed, gorgeously, and the pastor doesn't know who was the member. And when he started heaping accusation, now we have voted for you, we want you now to give job for our children, to remove these children from drugs and what have you, not for you to go back to her. But when she saw the heat was so much, she says, preacher, please, I am not the member that was elected. Binta is. So when he looked at me, in fact, I didn't have any makeup on. Still, again, I had my bathroom slippers on. And he was flabbergasted. He was taken aback and was like, anyway, we hope you will do us proud. And
yes.
That was
so simplicity is important.
The key as a woman, politician. And you cannot just wake up one day and I call it lastminute.com and say you want to go and contest election. You must plan for it, you must prepare for it, you must be community-based, you must know the intricacies of what is happening. You can't say now, okay, I want to contest election in 2019. You must start it now.
Now, you said earlier, you made reference to the fact that your parents are Muslim, you are a practicing Christian, and for some people that was sort of became an issue. This time around it isn't. Are we beginning to, in your view, see a situation where faith is no longer playing a part in our politics, or does it continue to be an issue? And how do we sort of get around it?
It is still an issue, because even I wasn't saved in 2011, because in Mubi precisely, and one of my opponents in another political party went around saying that no, Binta needs not to be trusted because her parents are Muslim and she refused to be a Muslim. Some people use religion for selfish reasons. Even within the Christian community, I wasn't spared, because they went around saying that no, her parents are Muslim, and who believes that maybe she's a Christian. So on what side is
Chrislam?
Chrislam? You practice Islam and you practice Christianity, and you understand. But the thing is that, again, you obviously when you now have an edge over people, a lot of people wants to look down and kind of slight you down. But the thing that I was resolute is that this is my agenda for the people if elected.
Now,
so
let me
I was
ask
not
you,
caught off into other...
But let me ask you something. Someone who's respected by many people in this country, retired General Danjuma, spoke to the media like a few weeks ago, and he was very, very clear and in his complaint. As far as he's concerned, Christian minorities in the North are marginalized and are treated badly. Is this a problem in your view?
Well, I will say I wasn't marginalized to a large extent, because like I told you, the diversity of my senatorial zone, 2 is predominantly 85% Christian, 3 is predominantly 85% Muslim. But I got most of my vote from Muslim-dominated environment. In Kaduna South, which I represented for 8 years, is a clear cut of a Muslim-dominated environment. Because out of 13 wards, 8 wards are completely Muslim community. Only 1 ward is a complete Christian community. The remaining 4 is a mixture of the 2. So to me, to a large extent, I wouldn't want to say, no, religion is playing a game. The issue is that even if you are a Christian, in a community where you have a predominant Christian community, the minority Muslim will say they are being marginalized. So the thing is that we must have a clear code of trust. The thing is to give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar and give to God what belongs to God. It's not a crime that I'm a Muslim, or you are a Muslim, I'm a Christian. We found ourselves by providence that we have found where we are. But that does not mean that the both religion is against each other. The most important thing is, do we study the 2 scriptures or the 2 books to now understand that neighborhood is almost, you must love your neighbor as yourself. You must be your neighbor's keeper. And once you have that belief, and we now say, okay, whatever that comes to the community, who is the worthy person that can, when we give him that our trust, he is worthy enough to defend us. If we have that, this issue of no, I'm from minority, I'm the majority wouldn't arise.
So it's about justice.
It's about justice and equity.
Now, I was reading online some young woman saying she finds you inspirational because she read a story about a conversation you had with the daughter of an ex-head of state, where you were talking about your background. Tell us a little bit about that meeting and what happened.
It was the former First Lady of Zamfara State, Aisha Babangida. Funny enough, my father was in the military, like I said earlier on, and was a driver. And my father happens to be one of his drivers.
Of President, former head of state,
General Ibrahim Babangida. And we are now talking to, I think it's Action Aid's the collaboration on the girl child that I was talking about. And I was one of the speakers. And I just looked at it and I said, what an irony of life. If anybody could for one day think that I, Binta Garba, will sit down on the same table with a girl that my father was her father's driver, then I wouldn't believe it. But today is history. A daughter of a driver with a daughter of a head of state sitting on the same table to talk to those girls out there. And I told them that once if you have a focus and you have a vision, you are not deterred on the circumstances you found yourself, but you speak to yourself internally that you want to make a difference, and you set an agenda and you pursue it. I said the sky will be their limit. And I think that thing went in, like most of the girls that were there started confessing that some of them are shy, that their parents are, drivers, dry cleaners, maid, and whatever. I said, no, don't be shy with the situation you found yourself today. You can be that change that will bring glory to your parents tomorrow. And I think maybe that's one of those.
In your view, what is the single most important ingredient in that change, in helping you to sort of get to where you are?
Perseverance.
Persevere.
Perseverance. I remember one day I was going to school with an empty stomach, and I was just telling myself, I refuse to be poor, and I must break that jinx of poverty in my family. You know, there was this anger that, hey, I'm going to school without a shoe on my leg. It was cold that time, and I had to take water without food. And here is this girl that her father was on a bike, you know, and it was raining. So the water now splashed on me. So the anger of not having food, the anger of falling inside the mud, and again the clothes, my clothes again was mudded upon by the splashing of this thing. I was just telling myself, no, I said, maybe if my father had a bike too, maybe I wouldn't have been in this condition, you know. So the perseverance was that I want to make a difference, I want to change my life against the one that I found my parents in. And I think that thing kept pushing me on. And I believe strongly that once if you have a will, then definitely there's going to be a way. And today is history.
Are your parents alive?
Yes, my father was 100 last year.
He was what? Say that again.
I was 100, he's still alive. Wow. My mother is about 75, she's still alive. So I think
and when
I'm
they
lucky.
look at you, what do they say to you?
Well, one of the issues my mother normally tells me was like, Binta, you are always in my prayers. And I was asking her one day, why do you make such a comment like that? He said, when I remember when you were born, I knew you were going to be a great woman. I said, why? He said, everybody wants to carry you when you are a child. And up till today, that same favor is following you. So every day I pray for you so that no evil shall come near your dwelling. And I say, amen.
Distinguished Senator, thank you so much for coming on the program. You've been watching Straight Talk with me, Kadaria Ahmed. My guest was Distinguished Senator Binta Garba. We discussed politics, terrorism, and faith. Join me next week when I'll be in conversation with another special guest. Have a good evening.